To see it as wonderful and beautiful is an important part of Shannon's legacy. She loved sports, she loved people, and she loved to bring them both together.
Shannon was a trailblazer in the industry. She always had a compassionate side to her so that she could get the players to do interviews. She did have a soothing nature that really made her unique. I spent more time with her than I did my actual family. She was my sister.
She set the tone for the way females should be looked at in the game. The players respected her, they loved her, they understood her work ethic.
She was a trailblazer for women in sports. She was an inspiration to many.
My rookie year, I was a 21-year-old kid from the Virginia Beach area of Virginia coming to New York. Not only did she teach me, how to deal with everyday life of playing Major League Baseball, but she became kind of a big sister type to me.
She had such a big heart. She was a tireless worker and thought of herself last and always put everybody before her. And you will be able to know that she did influence probably more people than almost anybody that I've known in my life.
We get to know each other when she was in 1995 was my first year as a rookie and was her first year as a rookie too in the front office. Great mother, my always good friend, always in my heart.
Shannon had a huge heart. She would also do whatever she could to help anybody, any day, anytime, 24/7. She loved doing what she did, and she was a very special and unique person.
How does one define the goodness of a person's life? But maybe it's one parameter, how many friends she has versus enemies in a lifetime. With Shannon Forde, it's easy to calculate. She had hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of friends, and nary an enemy.
But what made Shannon stand out from the rest of the pack was the way she handled people. She just had such a calming effect on everyone.
She was always such grace under pressure. And I just think of Shannon as being a pioneer and also a person who would do anything for anyone, always putting family, friends first.
She was so kind. She could get people to do things that everybody else on the planet would have said pound sand. And because of the way that she went about it, she developed relationships with people, not superficial ones, meaningful ones.
I worked with Shannon for a long time, and there was no one who had a bigger heart and more class when it came to dealing with people than Shannon Forde did.
I'd like to congratulate Shannon and her family on Shannon's induction into New York State's Baseball Hall of Fame.
She did a tremendous job. She knows baseball in and out. So if anyone is deserving, it's Shannon.
And what you learn quickly about Shannon is that she was the light in the life of everybody that she met.
Women in sports PR were really an anomaly, but Shannon adapted, grew up quickly, and left a legacy that really won't be equaled. I'm really, again, to congratulate Shannon and all she accomplished as a professional, and happy to see her inducted to the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame.
Our baseball community lost a most wonderful member 5 years ago when Shannon Forde, a longtime member of the Mets family, passed away. She was kind and warm, and she loved the Mets, and I hope you all know we loved her a lot. She meant a lot to a lot of people. So Shannon tonight is deservedly being inducted into the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame. Felicia, come on up.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am Shannon's niece, Felicia, and I have the privilege of accepting this award on her behalf alongside her beautiful children, Nicholas and Kendall. To start, the Dalton Forde family would like to say thank you so much to the New York Baseball State Hall of Fame and their committee for this induction. We are beyond amazed at this recognition, and it has filled our hearts with absolute pride and joy. But it's not only because my aunt's name is being placed into the hall. It is for her being one of the first women to be placed into the hall. That is just truly awe-inspiring. It is such a great feeling knowing that her legacy and her story will live on forever. And also knowing that her children will be able to bring their children one day to show them just how special, loved, and dedicated to the game that Shannon was. We would also like to give an enormous thank you to Rennie for all his help for making this night a reality for us. You have done such a great job all around. Everything turned out perfect. Thank you so much. Aunt Shannon would have humbly accepted this award with that infectious smile of hers, but knowing her the way I did, that smile would not be for her, but would be for her best friend, Jay Horowitz. Jay, Shannon would be so proud of you right now. And knowing that she was being inducted alongside of you, her much respected mentor, would make her so happy. You were so very special to Shan and a very important person in both her professional and her personal life. We have witnessed firsthand your hard work and dedication towards the Mets, the game of baseball, and Shannon's legacy. Jay, your knowledge is beyond abundant, your stories are beyond hilarious, and your hugs are beyond loving. Your heart is beyond pure. We thank you for your friendship and memories that we have shared the past 27 plus years, and we can't wait to make more. You have been just as good and supportive towards us, her family, as you were Shannon. We love you dearly, and you will always have a special place in our hearts. You will always be our Uncle Jay. Congratulations on your induction. It is so well deserved. Our family would also like to congratulate every other inductee here on this special night, with a special shout out to Perry. Most of you here know Shannon's baseball story and how great she was at her job. And with people tonight, but tonight, I would like to talk about the Aunt Shannon I knew and I loved. Shannon was beyond proud to be a member of the New York Mets family. Win or lose, high or low, good or bad, there was some bad. Shannon was not only a devoted employee, but a diehard fan. She bled orange and blue her whole entire life. The Mets always brought us close as a family, even before she got her job. Starting with my grandfather as a child, we were either attending Mets games, watching on TV, or listening on the radio. The Mets were and always will be a family tradition for us, and the team has given us so many great memories to share and a lot of good stories to tell. For 11 straight years, we drove to Port St. Lucie for spring training. Me, my mom, my aunt, once in a while my siblings, and then of course Nicholas and Kendall once they were born. And every ride was a different experience. Whether it took us 3 days to get to Port St. Lucie because of a freak snowstorm from New Jersey to Georgia, or getting into minor traffic accidents, or maybe leaving the car running for 2 hours while we were eating dinner in a restaurant, or perhaps my absolute favorite, when everybody in the car got the stomach virus at the same time while driving on 95 South in North Carolina, and Shan kept yelling at us from the back seat, "Keep driving, she had a meeting in Florida in the morning." We never knew what adventures were to be held, but it was always fun and always memorable. Towards her end, she said to me that she didn't want to be remembered for just being a Mets employee or just being another cancer patient. We know how hardworking and committed she was to her team. We saw how hard and fearlessly she fought her disease for 3 years, 7 months, and she should be remembered for that. But she wanted everyone to also remember she was a loving daughter, an excellent big sister, a fun-loving aunt, a trusted friend, a respected colleague, and a faithful wife. And most importantly, she was an extraordinary mother. And anybody who knew her could honestly say that she was truly all of that plus so much more. You would think that someone who worked about 90 hours a week wouldn't have a moment to think, let alone have a moment for her family or any extracurricular activities. But Shan did. Whether it was planning a quote-unquote Mets are on the road Sunday family dinner or a spur of a moment Friday night barbecue on her deck, she made it happen. Little secret about my aunt, she loved Legos. Always did, since she was a little girl. So when her son Nicholas started to share the same Lego experience, she made sure to book a family trip to Legoland in California. Both Shan and Nikki talked about it for months and kept repeating over and over how awesome it was. To see her and Nikki, how happy they were, really warmed your heart, and you can hear the excitement in his voice. Then when Kendall became infatuated with the Eiffel Tower, Shan convinced 9 family members to hop on a plane, go to Paris, Shan wanted all of us to be there to experience the look of awe in Kendall's face and when she saw the tower for the first time. And I'm glad she bought us, because that moment was truly magical for every single one of us. Kendall's face just lit up with absolute joy. Nikki and Kendall needed a class mom. Shan had it all covered, no problem. Shan would work till 9, then stay up till 2 a.m. working on class mom projects, just so everything would be perfect and enjoyable for the class. Nikki wanted a Ninja Turtle to show up at his party. It happened. Kendall wanted a $250 wedding cake for her birthday, decorated in Lala Lucy dolls. She got it. And it wasn't because Shan and John wanted to spoil the kids. It was more because Shan wanted her kids to have good experiences so they would have good memories, and she wanted them to go and try different things and view different places. She wanted them to be happy no matter where they were or what they were doing. But most of all, Shan really just wanted them to enjoy every moment they were. My aunt absolutely loved to travel. Whether it was 3 hours in the car ride or 10-hour plane ride, she would go. One of the favorite parts of her job was when she got to travel with the team and explore different cities. Shan would always say she was determined to see every ballpark in the major leagues. And impressively, she got to see 24 of them. It wasn't that bad. In her short 44-year lifespan, she had gone to 3 different continents and had visited 15 different countries, 3 of them which she got to explore with her husband, son, and daughter, Ireland, France, and Canada. She made sure she got to take Nikki and Kendall to Disneyland, California, Disneyland, Paris, every single Disney in Orlando, Universal Studios, and any and all zoos and aquariums, and just so many more places. Again, she loved to see the excitement on their face and enjoyed their innocence. And it wasn't just her own kids. She adored her nieces and nephews. She was only 18 years old when I was born. She was more like a sister than an aunt. She had a very heavy influence on myself and my siblings while we were growing up. Me and my sister and my brothers knew she was only a phone call away. If I needed to be picked up at 1 a.m. because I had a few many and couldn't drive, she'd say I'm on my way. If one of my twin brothers needed somewhere to stay while he was on Christmas break from college because the other twin was driving him nuts, she'd say, pack a bag, I'm on my way, you can stay here. If my sister needed a shoulder to cry on because some stupid boy broke her heart, Shan would be hugging her while holding the box of tissues. She made sure she took care of me and my siblings. She made sure she took me and my siblings to our first baseball games, our first movie, our first Broadway play, our first concert, our first trip to Europe. She not only wanted to be a part of every milestone in our lives, she also wanted to enrich our lives to show us there's an entire world out there. She took my mom, who was only 23 at the time, on her first plane ride just to help her get over her fear of flying. Plus, they flew to Miami to watch the Mets, so you know it was a win-win for her. She called her mother every day to check in because she was just that type of daughter. But everyone knows that she was definitely a daddy's girl. It was quite obvious the day she got a job with his favorite team. My aunt's big blue eyes and beautiful smile could light up the darkest room. She also had a kind word and good advice for anybody and everybody. She only said no when it was impossible to say yes. She tried hard to never let a single person down. And if she promised you something, she delivered. She was such a good-hearted, generous person who never looked for anything in return except for a smile and a thank you. Shan knew how to make you feel special. Shan knew how to make you feel loved. She also knew how to make you feel secure and to make sure you weren't alone. Shan's love, guidance, and presence is in our lives and is missed every day, but we know she is now our guardian angel. No matter how much time has passed, there will always be a missing piece to our puzzle, but we carry on each day holding her close to our hearts because we know she is watching over us. We do try to live as humble and as kind of a life as she did. Thank you very much.